My neighbor was screaming every day. My neighbor's like shameless without the fun, and every day they just scream. There's a grandpa who has no shirt, and he just yells at the rest of the 14 people in the house. They're not a family. I'm not sure who the fuck they are, but every day someone yells something. The other day, there's a boy, and he was just screaming out. I could hear it through the window, and he's just yelling out loud, and I barely hear it. The one point I hear him go, "Shut up! I can pee wherever I want." And then the mother yelled out, "Well, why are you naked?" And then the kid yelled out, "Because I'm peeing." And he says, "Why are you peeing?" He goes, "Because I'm naked. I told you." And then the door slammed. The grandfather just yelled out, "Do one of them and shut the fuck up." I think that's the only meme we need in life. People try to do too much shit. Do one of them and shut the fuck up. Take it, Frank.
Thank you, Pat. Welcome to the Pat Oates Show, where we uncover the piece of shit from many different stories with our co-host, Bobby Tamburo and the impeccable Pat Oates. Today's special guest is comedian RanDom.
Yay!
Who's on
You're
a YouTube channel. Plus, he has a new documentary coming out now called Who Killed Comedy. Take it, Pat.
I thought you were going to forget his part where he's plugging, and I'm like, you just went the whole beginning. Before we hit the fucking record, Frank is like, I'm just verified. I'm military. I can do anything. And you forgot the one name.
Well, in the silence, it was coming to the show, you fucking dick. RanDom. That's what the silence was.
I love RanDom. I love the fact that you're that kind of guy that goes, "Yeah, it's about me." No, he's not.
I'll be honest with you.
Probably had a stroke.
When I came to his name, I said, "Who the fuck's got a name just RanDom?" And that's what froze me. And that
you're about to find out.
Well, we also told you it's him, the guy on the show with us.
Short-term memory lapse.
They like do assign different drugs to people. Like, oh, he's liquid cocaine on a podcast. Like Aaron Burke's liquid cocaine on a podcast. Like he comes on, he's gonna kick it up to the next level. Or
I would think that'd be Gino.
He's heroin to a podcast. Like he's gonna come on and really throw things down. Gino's a great example for both. RanDom, I like to think of you as the PCP to a podcast. Like we are gonna go in directions we weren't expecting. Night's gonna get crazy, but we are going to have a blast and we're gonna want to do it again. You are one of my favorite people to watch, whether it's Real Ass Podcast, Chrissy Mayer's podcast, and I'm glad we finally locked you down here, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing great. I feel like this performance is going to be underwhelming because I'm really trying to do the 2021 chill thing of, hey, what's up, guys, rather than just screaming about all the things I hate.
Dude,
be you, my friend. That's all we want on here anyway.
If you're being chill, we want chill RanDom, man. Whatever zone you're in, when you're being yourself, you're a killer. So just do that. Frank, how are you?
One thing, Bobby. Can I correct one, or not correct, but discuss one thing? Because he brought up a good point. They're both of them, Gino and Aaron, are both kinds of cocaine. But Aaron is a pure line of like Colombian Coke. It hits your nose, it hits your bloodstream, and holy shit, you're ready and you didn't know what's gonna happen. Gino is like when I hear about people doing Coke so much and they try to jerk off and then they can't, and it's just they're just pulling at it forever and they're never gonna come, and then their mouth is dry. It's like it's going on and on. Like, where's this gonna end? And all of a sudden it just comes in your face.
Or it's
That's
cut with
the difference in the cocaines.
And cut with meth and fentanyl or Adderall.
Yes. Yeah, it's not pure. There's a lot of shit in there.
Gino's the one person I've ever been on a podcast with where I was like, well, he's more like manic and into it than I am. I've never felt that way about any other person except Gino.
I'm sure when Barry Ribs is on there, he just goes, this guy's fucking crazy. That's what Gino does. Gino makes people who feel like they're nuts feel like they're not the nut in the room.
Oh, no, I don't feel like he's crazy. I felt like, all right, people are going to be focusing on him being like crazy and manic and psychotic, not me.
It's the beauty of Gino.
I mean, you guys got it wrong. Because in hot water every day, Gino plays the straight guy.
We all play something.
But you know what I mean? Like, he's able to do it all. He's the Magic Johnson.
I think he tries to just be toned kind of like me, but then he can't help himself and it'll just go off.
He does have his moments, but nobody is happier with who they are than Gino Visconti.
Oh, look, there was not. Yeah. You always get defensive even when there's a compliment. I said it the most beautiful way possible. You're like, I gotta defend the guy I opened for. I mean, my friend.
Oh, God, we are
No.
gonna have fun later.
Here's a combination. Here's an example. I have a very good friend, a very fond comic out of Rhode Island named Brian Boat. He's hilarious. He's one of the best live performers I've ever seen. Big ball area, but he is just
You
weird.
get it. You're good at comedy. You have great.
Brian, not me, Brian. He's.
I don't think Ron's a very good judge.
Said, you're not even listening to the story. I said Brian's a very good comic. I never talked about me once. So this is what you do with Gino, because it must be easier when someone else is on drugs to deal with. I'm sober. I can hear you. So anyway, Brian is one of these guys who's super high all the time. And when he's on stage, it's part of his persona, but it's also really who he is. And him and I were doing a thing where we were both performing together. He would do a set, I would do a set, and we come on stage together at the end of this thing and do dumb shit together. We were doing a couple of gigs like that. But we started off, he would go on first, or I would go on first, then him, and then I would come back up, and it worked out fine. And one time we tried it the other way. But when he went on first, I could never find him to come back up because he'd get too high, and he would just wander off away somewhere, and then we wouldn't end up doing the end of the show because he'd forget. So I'd have to have him stay so I could come back up so he wouldn't get too high. That's how I feel about Gino being the straight man host. Gino is perfect at it, but if you didn't give him the responsibility of anchoring the show, he would wander off into the streets, find Larry Bea, and do cocaine somewhere. So you have to keep him in there and have Aaron on one side, the Booth on the other, to contain the magic, which is Gino. But if you let him wander, that unicorn will go off into the sunset and go do some weird shit.
Yeah,
That's what I was saying, Bobby.
I felt bad because I would allegedly say like, "Hey man, I got half a gram on you if you want to go to the bathroom real quick," and he would just give like a look. So I was like, "Oh, there's some like magical circle that I'm not in." I asked Anthony Cumia by mistake if he wanted to do blow with me in the bathroom, and he goes, "Are you offering to do cocaine with me?" And I was like, "I'm just trying to," and then he's like, "Nah."
Are you offering?
Are you offering to do cocaine with me? Sorry. Oh.
Are you offering
You're
to
right,
do?
allegedly.
I like that you started allegedly, and you gave the exact amount and the location. Allegedly.
I like to think Keith the cop was just sitting on the couch watching the whole exchange.
No, there was no one there. I mean, it was whoever was on the podcast with me. So
makes sense.
Well, there's people there. There's a booth and recordings. You're being recorded on that show.
In the off part, like in the green room?
Yeah, they've got stuff going the whole time.
Oh, whoops.
It's a studio.
I know, but I thought the studio was there and the green room was the not recorded.
Oh, in the green room. I thought you meant in the room, the studio room.
You were just
Frank,
on
did
the
you
couch.
have a stroke during Random's introduction? Are you okay? We haven't heard from you in a while. I just want to make sure you're still with us. Yeah,
He's
you had like a long pause.
Listen, this is flowing so well. I didn't want to interrupt it. It's going great.
Oh, but you're like, attacking it. Are you okay?
He's looking at me.
Attacking everybody today.
He's looking at
me for no reason. You attacked Frank.
Frank is looking at me and reminding of all the people he killed back in the day.
Yeah, he's like, we used to march against queers like you.
Bobby, you doing good?
Yeah, I'm great, buddy.
I'm concerned for you.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
I started the show by I did a little story and I said my friend is funny and you went, "Oh, we get it, Pat. You're funny." I'm like, well, I didn't.
I was just making a joke.
And then and Frank sat there and didn't cut us off, and you yelled at him for not cutting us off, which he normally does.
But also to be a douche and not sound fake, Pat is really good at one-liners. Like he can just keep going with one-liners.
Yeah, until they're like a story.
Yeah, wait till he has to read something random.
No, I didn't read anything though. So
wait, no, I'm saying wait till you have to. Then he's gonna lose all his faith in you.
I've been attacked for that. My reading isn't like Pearl Ives, I guess. I'm not putting out the stories the way I'm supposed to. But my audio okay? Because I'm in a different location with no green screen because the audio's been terrible lately and people wonder why. So an old man, searched how do I make my audio better on Zoom, and then there's like 80 examples, and one says sit closer to your router. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm on the other side of the whole place. So I'm basically sitting on my router, which is next to my TV, in an area that's not comfortable. But by next show, I'll have it looking like it's comfortable. But right now, I'd rather have audio. We're not lagging. And I'm happy with that. So, and Random, I'm happy you're on. When Bobby told me he talked to you about it, I was like, that's great. I hadn't heard from you in a while. It's always wonderful to hear from you. You're someone I've always enjoyed on any show, and I've always enjoyed your pain because your pain was always my pain years ago when I was drinking and doing comedy and not understanding who I was and getting mad at people for having spots and getting mad at myself for not doing things better. I saw your shit after, and I'm like, this motherfucker's going through the same shit. I want to hug this motherfucker. I don't know if he wants that, but he's funny, he's talented, and I want him to just get chill. And then when you wrote that, you're like, hey, we're doing great. I'm like, fucking awesome. Because I think you're brilliant, man. You are a personality that people just, you're infectious. You don't think so. It's a good disease.
No,
It's
not
not
at
a
all.
bad disease. It's a good disease.
It was
tell
coming
that
across.
to the New York City comics who are like, oh, we're not having random on the list. And it's like, but I was scheduled and booked and showed up here. I've offered people like drugs or I've offered to give them rides and they're still like, fuck random. He's off the list. And I'm like, why, guys? I promoted their comedy and documentaries and shit, but they're still like, oh, fuck you. We're not having you on our show. So
because they're jealous of your natural God-given ability. They're not funny.
to just
All
hate
those people that
myself
aren't letting
and
you on are just
self-destruct.
are a boys club and a girls club or a them's club, whatever the fuck it is, and they're all mad because you actually are funny and do things on your own. You've on your own made yourself a personality where you can be on Gas Digital and be on Compound and be on all these shows because of your natural ability to put yourself out there and be real. They can't do that and they're jealous, so they don't want you to have their 3 minutes of their hipster bullshit.
Yeah,
you're better.
And the things people criticize in you is what they hate about themselves.
Yeah.
So they criticize that you're willing to go extreme, you're willing to go out there, you're willing to be yourself.
But that's
And
just
people
also
wish
how I feel.
they had the balls to be that free.
Like, I'm not like, okay, an audience is here. Let me be edgy and joke about the Holocaust. It's actually just something I was thinking about through the day. And I was like, hey, isn't it funny like that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
The
then
Holocaust is naturally funny.
The difference.
That's why I kept my mouth shut when you three of you were talking, because Rand, you came off like velvet. I mean, it was smooth. It was smooth. You were on top.
Right now, Random's
me
like,
in. I was listening.
I want to pull my
felt
dick out and
great.
call you all gay. Like I
Yeah,
can't
we
deal.
will cheer it on. Go.
I
"Woo,
can't
Pride
deal
Month,
with. I
woo!"
can't deal with that much love. I can only take that much love.
Well,
Random's gonna get done with this podcast and be like, I think their podcast is a reverse intervention. They just come on and tell you you're great.
people are like, "How is the podcast?" He goes, "I got trolled for an hour. I'm pretty sure."
Yeah, they're probably laughing behind their back. We made this queer think he's good at comedy. Fuck him.
Everybody was trying to get him to kill himself wrong. We found a way.
Yeah, we just have to keep self-loving him to be. He jumps off a bridge.
That's it. We're gonna push him off and say, "We loved you, son," as we push you off the bridge. That's the ultimate moment. Yeah, don't worry. This won't be the whole thing, but I don't always do that. You can watch other shows. I was happy to see you, Ron. So we're glad that you're here, my friend.
I feel bad for not responding to your messages because I'm kind of done with social media and looking at all the comments and stuff. So I just post shit like it's a bomb and then just walk away. Post a 30-minute video about describing everyone sucking my dick, and I don't look at the comments, I don't look at the likes, but I never read my messages. So I feel bad about that. I'm not one of those, oh, I'm on Gas Digital, I'm too big for you guys. I never want to be that fucking person.
And we know you aren't that. We also know that social media is toxic for you. So if you have to handle it any way you have to, do it.
I mean, it's
You have to
also a
put it out there,
career
run away,
enhancer.
run away.
And I work for Compound, so I know you're not too big for me if you're only at Gas Digital.
Even though all your people run over to Gas whenever they can to be on those shows.
Is there a third network? Because it seems just like a battle between Compound Media, Gas Digital, and then Riotcast, which I can't get into why I'll never be in that door. But is there anything more? Like, I'm trying to find my crowd or people. Is there like a fourth podcast station that hasn't heard of me yet that I could try?
I don't think it hasn't heard of you. I mean, nothing at that level. There's a
Not
bunch
on-
of little groups of things. But
Not on the East Coast, but like, I mean, you could always go like All Things Comedy out west.
Yeah.
I feel like your biggest issue with Riotcast is Bobby Kelly just goes, "What the fuck?
No, that is not.
What the fuck is this?"
No, I really can't disclose. It's a lot of personal, years-long things of someone I worked with, someone I opened for during their show, someone I auditioned for their show, someone I helped them for their SiriusXM promo, and still fucking hates me and shit talks me behind the scene. Someone I've hung out with on a personal level like 5 times. Someone I'm really close friends with their AA buddies, but no, just fuck Random. So fuck him. But I made the mistake of mentioning his name a lot last year. So
someone like you
Yeah.
makes it easier to live. Dare to
Yeah.
think about myself. That's fine. Listen, you can't be everywhere. And that's the key. The key to being comfortable with comedy or anything else is knowing what doors are open, what are closed, but not giving a fuck about the closed doors.
But the
Those
problem
doors don't
is
matter.
it's closed.
They don't matter. You don't need
it's
it.
closed for bullshit reasons. Like people
Doesn't matter.
are
Then you
insecure.
don't. Then why would you want to go in a bullshit door, man?
Because there's people that are cool in there that like
Yeah,
me. They just
so here's
can't-
what you do.
Bill, come out
Honestly,
of the door.
hang on. Real advice.
Yeah.
What you need to do, especially with the type of things you do. This is
Kicking the
genuine
door with
advice
a pipe
because I
bomb
love
and a
you.
gun.
No. You just got to do your own thing. Create your own website. Put up
I already
content
have my own
consistently.
website.
Just
MarkRandom.com.
keep doing
Who
it.
killed comedy?
Yeah,
a
no,
bunch
but
of my
who
stand-up
keep
clips.
building it, do it
In defense
consistently.
of the love hurt.
I know, but I also don't believe in myself at all. Like
I
have
know,
so
but you
many
got to stop.
promotion projects to do, and then I'm like, it'd be cooler than promoting myself and succeeding in comedy, laying in bed for 4 days crying. That would be so much better.
Record it.
But hang on, I really want we had Mark Hughes on. He's in Canada.
Yeah.
He's very I'm just gonna say he makes racist jokes. They're hilarious,
there's
but he's
hate
racist.
speech laws in Canada. All my shit.
He's not.
Yeah.
He's not even in Canada right now. He's
No,
he's a
he had to go to
refugee.
Mexico.
Yeah.
And he's going to go over to England. But what he did, and the reason he got tired was he just started throwing his own shows, booking comedians he liked. He built his own audience. He's got a big audience because he just kept doing what you're doing. You're a few years behind him. You just got to keep grinding, buddy. You're going to get
thing,
and you're
and I know
3 years
this is-
ahead of me. So I'm jealous of you.
I know, but my getting there has been accidental. It's only been through fuck ups and train wrecks that people are watching the show, not for my documentaries or even books that I've published or comedy albums or t-shirts or doing tours in fucking Europe and all that. They just want to see me have a meltdown and shit like that. What I'm saying is the thing that bothers me is I feel like there's a perception of me that's not real, but that's why they're more reluctant to have me on their shows or book me.
And you're a philosophy guy, Random. So here's what I'm
Like there's
telling
some
you.
idea of me that is not true, but they're like, we can't have him because of X, Y, and Z.
But
and
here's
I
what I'm
can't-
telling you, Random.
I can't break through the narrative. Like what you guys see me
Oh,
You
love.
froze.
I'd rather just have that perception without the love. I froze.
you're back.
Yeah,
You're back.
God-
You
It's
can't
God-
do anything. Why are you telling me?
All right. Can I say something now?
Yes.
Yes. Pat, get off the couch. I think
What?
this story, I
It's his
think this
podcast. He can do
story
what the fuck he wants.
deserves, this
No, he
story
knows to be able to-
deserves, this episode for the last 15 minutes deserves, who's the piece of shit? I mean, I really believe in that.
We're not going to
concept.
do that right now, Frank.
No, but
I would
think
win that
I think-
contest.
on this stage, on this format.
You are.
Okay.
I'm about to help this fucking guy. I'm letting Bobby Cotton jump in, yell at me, and then
Okay,
say, who's
so-
the piece of shit?
So you're saying I'm the piece of shit. I accept that.
What are we doing, Frank?
Because I want to say who the
Hang
piece
on.
of
He's
shit
on a
is.
roll. Let him go, Pat.
The
Don't
piece
stop
of
him
shit,
now.
unfortunately, is Rand.
Frank, how do you feel
Random.
about Jews? This could determine it.
Random. Woe is me. For the last 15 minutes, I've been listening to Woe is me.
Yeah, but you fought for the Jews, so how can I respect you? Sorry.
That's okay.
Now Heedcast won't let you on, Random.
Yeah.
There's a. Go ahead, Pat. You were gonna say something. I'm sorry. I keep trying to jump in.
Do you, and then I'll finish it, and then we'll get into our stories. Go ahead.
Random. There's a tightrope stretched across the valley between the man and the Superman.
Yeah.
Walk across it, buddy. You like philosophy?
Yeah.
Nietzsche, man. Go for it. You're going for it. The only thing
Yeah.
you don't have right now is the belief in yourself to really go for it. And when you
And
do,
I never will.
you will. It'll happen. Look at all the guys like you. It always happens for them at some point. Just don't
No,
wait 60
never.
years until you're addicted to heroin to get to that point, man. We want to see you blow up now.
No,
Yeah,
it was
thanks,
in my
Frank.
20s. In my 20s that I gave all the motivation, determination, enthusiasm, watching The Secret every day and then traveling. I'm going to make it as a musician. This is the purgatory dead end of where I was in my performative career. This is like, well, fuck this.
And
Because
that's
you got to
fine.
grind again.
No. As a guy who's older and beat up more, let me just jump in one thing. Your philosophy's right. That can work for a mindset that's ready for that.
Yeah.
But Random's mindset is different. Let me tell you this. It's fine to be a person who doesn't believe in themselves.
Yeah.
Most entertainers don't believe in themselves. They always feel like they're playing a persona. They always feel like that they're playing make-believe in front of other people. People think people think I'm not real, this and that. The only time you're going to get past that is when literally you start thinking about their opinion the same way you think about yours. If it's good, bad, or indifferent. So you have to think, if you don't give a fuck about, you're like, I don't matter, I'm this, I'm that, whatever. Great. But do that about their opinions too. Who gives a fuck, real quick, who gives a fuck what Bobby Kelly thinks? Who gives a fuck what Anthony Cumia thinks?
They're the gatekeepers.
Let me finish, God damn it. It's POS, it's not Random Show.
Sorry.
I'm telling you, you like to do that. And I've been around those people. The second it comes to
deal,
you did it with Bobby, you did it with Frank and me. The second it gets real, you throw out your defense. I might believe in you. Who gives a fuck? If Bobby, like, who gives a even if you don't, do you? One day you're not going to be alive anymore. If you want to go search for Bigfoot, go fucking
I can't
Bigfoot.
wait for that day.
It doesn't goddamn matter what you do in life as long as you're happy doing your goddamn life. One day, out of nowhere, that door, I've never once searched up being on compound. I didn't even know what the fuck it was. A friend of mine said, hey, come with me and go hang out there. I'm like, I don't know anything about Cumia since when he was on Opie. I don't know what he is. I heard he's racist now. I showed up. I had a great time. Didn't realize what the fuck the show was, and then got to be a guest 13 times in 1 year.
And you got inducted into white nationalism?
I wrote something else for therapy one time myself just to get my mind clear. And someone said, let's turn that into a book. And I did that. Whenever I didn't look for a door to be opened, a door opened. When I stopped looking for it to be opened, they opened. So just stop fucking looking at that door. Now you may rebuttal.
It's my only thing is it's like I go back and forth between not giving a fuck and my not giving a fuck is on extreme levels. So I feel like I'm just overcompensating. Like in my heart of hearts, I don't think I give a fuck. I feel like all comics hate someone who doesn't give a fuck. So it's like I try to give a fuck, but you know, I wouldn't fucking say all the shit I say if I gave a fuck.
Right. But why do you care about the part where the comics think about it? What? That's the part. Your part's fine. In that sentence, you said, I think all comics think this. You know what the fuck other comics think. You're going to make yourself nuts even trying to think what they think.
No, I know that. It's just reflection of themselves. I just believe that
they're in their own damage right now. So comics are watching this mad. You're on a show and they're not. Comics are jealous of everything like every other person.
Why are there boobies in my background?
I thought that was you.
Why is the boobies are thinking, why is there a Bobby in our foreground? So you have to look at it in different ways.
No, why are the boobs there? You say it every podcast.
Not this time. Remember last show? I was happy with those boobs. I don't know why. Hey. They're kind of white trash and they make me feel good.
Yeah, there's
all the other boobs were like so perfect, and I'm like, I like this, a little bit of belly, a little bit of boobage. I don't know. That one makes me feel good.
No, but it's up here because you said it. Because people told me it's stupid. I like boobs. That's why I make them my background. Like fuck what other people think.
Random. The world has tried to kill Frank for 79 years. COVID, Nazis, everything. He has lived through many plagues, Spanish flu, everything. Frank
Any major event in the last 80 years, he's been on the wrong side of.
He started racism. He was holding a hose, stopping kids from going to school. He had a good aim. That's what he did.
You're my hero again, Frank.
Yeah.
He trained the dogs you see in the photographs. He was their trainer.
He is the grassy knoll. He was fatter than people stood on him and shot him.
He was the bombs that went off in 9/11.
Yes, he's the slash in 9/11. When you write it, 9 slash, he's the slash.
You're familiar with Deep Throat from the Nixon files?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you aren't familiar with his little accomplice, ATM Frank.
He actually gave the blowjob that it was named after.
Yes. Exactly. He's Bukkake Frank. They don't want to give that name out. They're like, that's gross.
He got Clinton drunk and put on a blue dress.
He's responsible for the future assassination of Joe Biden.
Yes.
He gave Kennedy the information on the Bay of Pigs.
He was the pigs in the bay.
I was going to go with that.
And
what would you put on him?
Because he hates Jews and they couldn't eat the pig.
He knew of the Pearl Harbor attack and didn't do anything, so we could invade Europe.
Because he thought it was a pearl necklace and he was going to come all over their chest. He's like, oh, I thought it was pearl necklace, not Pearl Harbor.
He invented
for the Japans DDT
because he had a lady boy with him that convinced him to.
But a Thai one because he's classy.
Yeah. Asian, they're all the same.
How dare you?
He came up with
I can see why people hate Random.
He came up with the slogan change. that got Obama elected.
Wouldn't that be amazing? In all that, somebody just like watched this and said, then random attack the Asians. I'm like, really? In that 10-minute thing where we went off on everything terrible, that's what the world would do. They'd go, and you said Asians weren't cool.
There was a video I posted, but I took down on Instagram. It was about my Mexican vacation of just like, there was blow and prostitutes and all that other shit with my girlfriend or whatever. But there was a moment where we went to the hibachi place and, they do the song and dance. So we had like a tray of Coke and we're going like, hey, ho, hey, like, ask, sniffy, sniffy, watch. Like, and I was just like, I had to cut her part, but I didn't cut my part in saying that because it was just, that's how they talked to the hibachi place. So I just recreated that with Coke on a metal plate.
Imitation's the greatest form of flattery.
Allegedly, a prop. It was a prop of Coke to make myself seem cool.
Yeah, it was calcium powder.
Exactly.
Yeah, you made a joke based on a familiarity that we all understand. And then people turn around now and go, no, you wouldn't have gotten it if you act like a white guy doing it, speaking normal. Like, I don't get it. You do the voice, you do the Coke, you do the stereotypes. It's a joke. It wasn't real. You weren't saying, I hate people. You should be allowed to joke anything you want.
But
this is what call for Mexican one.
But this is what I hate about the whole perception of comedy scene, and I'm just doing a shameless plug here, is so many comics will get in trouble for jokes, and then what?
I said it was shame-filled, not shameless.
Oh, I thought you were saying Shane, someone else.
No, I don't plug anyone but me.
Yeah, no, it's comics get in trouble for jokes and then they apologize or they trail off into it's just jokes, man. And everyone loves these fucking comics. Whereas I stand by everything I say. I have a 30-minute podcast regarding the philosophy. I had existentialism, spirituality on why people get offended by jokes. And people say I'm just shocked for the sake of shock. Like I'm the only one who actually has a meaning behind my jokes. Whereas the other ones say shock for shock's sake and then just apologize. And I'm just angry that I never get that moment to explain why I make the jokes that I make. You know what I mean? Like I would
next
love
week on why Kramer said the N-word.
Exactly. Like he's like, I offended people. I would be able to like argue that shit like a lawyer, Charlie Sheen style.
Your Honor, did you see what they were wearing? What were they acting like, Your Honor? They weren't acting like normals.
They were yelling like it was a movie, Your Honor.
They were super predators. Joe Biden said it himself.
Are you familiar with Chris Rock's black people versus N-words a bit?
I put my money in books, Your Honor.
I said the A at the end of it. I know it sounded like ER, but I said the A. I was trying to relate to them because they're like, oh, I'm some goofy white guy from Seinfeld. So I was like, let me extend an olive branch and relate to their culture in Los Angeles.
Right. The A makes it friendly.
Yeah. Frank, we know back in your day, you said it with an R and you meant it. It's okay.
Back in your day, there wasn't pedophilia.
Back in the day, it was yesterday. That's what he's talking about. He's screaming at his neighbors.
Listen, if they're in your yard, okay?
And they don't have chains on them, it's okay to say it.
First of all, it's the owner's fault for not putting a chain on them.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Frank, who's the POS in the Kramer story? Is it Kramer?
Audience all the way. And not just cause. Like, fuck people for thinking they have a voice. If they were even white, like, fuck them. Also, my documentary, Who Killed Comedy, at markrandom.com has many moments like that. So.
Did you enjoy Michael Richards' infamous set at the Laugh Factory? You're gonna love
Mark Random.
You're gonna love Who Killed Comedy,
starring his set of fiction. Sorry, I fucked up the flow. Starring his classic, well-known bits. All women are child rapists. And shut up, you fucking cunts! I'm trying to do a joke.
If you act now.
You can get his dancing at Auschwitz, saying gas in the Jews.
It's Bing Crosby styled.
But wait,
gas in the Jews.
June 19th is coming up. You want to celebrate Black History Month? Listen to his podcast called Holy Race War, where he talks about the non-Christian conspiracy behind the slave trade that no one wants to talk about.
I forgot about Juneteenth.
Yeah.
Send me that after this. I'm
sorry,
interested.
it's not like the only reason I made it is I believe, like what I started the podcast saying is I'm an individualist and I believe we have to get beyond skin color and ethnicity and come together as personality. So the idea of identity politics is just taking a huge L for society, but I'm debating against the radical non-Christian corporations who are co-opting Black extremist movement and just debating fact for fact. So it's going to, and it was already because I
And
was
representing the non-Christian corporations and presenting the other side of the argument, Frank.
Yeah. No, but it's like people, I was put on a few lists of most racist comics. So I felt like if I'm going up against titans like Nick DiPaolo and Anthony Cumia, I have to come correct. So I made that video just, stating some few facts about the argument, but I'm not a racist, and I would tell people if I was, that would be so much easier. If I came out all white nationalist, I would have hundreds of thousands of people that are like, finally, we got one in comedy, but I'm like libertarian individual.
That's Mark Hughes' whole view, that he said he got tired of explaining why it wasn't racist, so now when they ask him, he just goes, yes.
Yeah.
I do love the idea of a libertarian leader right now going, fuck. Random just agreed to sign himself to us.
All right, they got me. I'm not
Dave Smith's like, God damn, here's my vice president.
Libertarian is just a facade I put on. It's really nihilistic and misanthropic. My idea is I don't care if you're black, white, gay, or trans, get in the fucking camp, be genocided. It'll be like a lottery number. We just pick you at Social Security and get in the fucking camp. That's my platform. Genocide 2024. Get in the fucking camp. Mark RanDom.
I also love the idea of a magazine reporting on it and being like, yeah, we got the Titans everybody knows about. But let me tell you about Rookie of the Year, RanDom. He is coming out of nowhere. He has done more racist stuff in less time than any comedian we have ever seen before him. You're going to want to watch this guy.
He's the LeBron James of hating everybody.
He's just somebody's favorite.
I'm the prodigal racist. I've been in comedy for 2 years and I already made it Nick DiPaolo status, who's been in the game for 30 years grinding out racism.
Instead of King James, he's King Chains. He's just coming up every race on chains. Trannies, anything, just pulling them there. Like, you're all in this together.
They just get quotes from all the like current guys, like it's Larry the Cable Guy. As soon as he came in the game, I knew things were done different.
Because he started speaking facts. I'm talking about stereotypes of watermelon. He's talking about some 1353.
I give you dancing in front of Auschwitz and then Larry the Cable Guy going, get her done.
Sometimes you have extra bodies that you want to throw in an oven. Get her done.
Oh, I want you on the
and if you got burned,
door. You should be the fifth guy. Where Bill Engel's like, here's your sign. It just says the N-word on it.
Larry the Cable Guy is watching.
If you hate all people equally and yourself, you might be a random. And it's just
yes.
Amazing.
Yes. If you are perceived as sexist, misogynistic, racist, and counter-Semitic, you might be a random.
Dude, you got a thing here.
If every comic hates you and you're never going to succeed at anything and you just do it for the fuck of it, you might be a random. If you lie about wanting to succeed in the industry so you can sound more professional, you might be a random. If you want to keep a bunch of women chained up in your basement with scars on the neck, you might be a random.
Oh, Jeff Coxworthy is my favorite.
You like the idea of Larry the Cable Guy being like, get her done outside of Auschwitz. Now, speaking of burned, if you got burned, let me tell you about Pepsid AC.
Dude, Bill Engvall puts your numbers on your arm and goes, here's your sign.
Sponsored by Coke Zero. In terms of being less white, we mean throwing them in an oven until they're all ashy.
Yeah, that they're less white than the fireman style. The only black they care about. Bobby ran away.
So
Bobby,
can we make... Bob, you all right? I'm happy he got that one joking because I heard it and we all stepped over. Can we make a pact that whichever comic, Pat Oates or Bob, gets more famous, this is the cancelable podcast? That will mention the other comics on.
Yes.
In your apology speech, be like, Pat's like fucking on Saturday Night Live, and then he has to go, I was on a podcast with Mark RanDom at markrandom.com, and Bob, who's on Compound Meeting. You got to shout all of us out so we can all get the come up.
Okay, let me correct you right now. You got it the other way around.
All right, Rob, if you get
I'm going to be like, hey, I get it. Shout out RanDom. He didn't really mean to shoot up that building. He was just trying to make a point. I'm sure he has a philosophy behind it if you just listen to him. It's probably in his manifesto. R.I.P. Frank. He had a hell of a run. Check out Alan Abel's documentary. You'll see some references to him. And Pat, I don't know Pat because he's made it successfully in the mainstream. So I'm just going to disavow. I made him say all that horrible things. This was all on me.
No, we gotta have it.
I was like, I don't know about this.
We gotta have the come up. Bob, if you get like Chris D'Elia famous on Netflix and then they bring up this podcast, you have to say, well, it was Mark RanDom and Pat Oates, and you gotta spread the names so we go viral too.
For sure.
This is the
I didn't know
cancelable
RanDom was
pact.
gonna make a good movie like Ernest series of RanDom goes to camp and RanDom.
Oh boy.
It's a whole different movie.
I like that he has 3 successful hits, and he's like, "What if in the 4th one I go to a camp?" They're like, "No."
We don't
so
want that
good at
again.
camp.
No, please, no.
I did have a funny idea when we were on the buses to Auschwitz and they were bringing it. I thought about sitting next to some girl and be like, "So, you come here often?"
Here's a piece
I
of
wonder
shit in
if
that
any
story,
other
Frank.
Jews had a funny idea on the bus to camp. I got a good one.
What's Vogel's book that he wrote about that? Random? Are you familiar?
Which one is it?
Vogel wrote it about being in a concentration camp and learning what the meaning of life is.
Of course, because all he did was concentrate.
Yeah.
I
Like
could've
orange
worded-
juice.
I was
I
just say like the prelogue's just full of him cracking jokes on the bus because he doesn't know what's going on.
I could have.
It's like, come on, what's the worst that's gonna happen? They're gonna make us run a little bit. Come on, we're gonna be fine.
The one thing I will
Shoes
say.
don't run.
The one thing I will say that was extremely horrific about going to Auschwitz was the cafeteria food before was very dry. You'd think they would have fish, but it was just stale, cold chicken nuggets. That's what they gave you before a 3-hour tour. It was horrible. I could see why Jews wrote about it as the most tragic thing. And the stale donuts, I couldn't even eat them.
Rand, why did you go there? What motivated you to take that tour?
Well,
you
it's funny
listened
you
to
should
him?
ask. For someone in New York City who's called a non-comic, in 2019, I had a buzz going. So I did a small US tour, which was 2.5 dates. And then I was going to Europe anyway with my girl because we were just crazy. I don't think she was medicated at the time. So fuck it, we're going to Europe. So we did a couple of dates of booked like in Austria. We did a date in Paris. We did a date in Poland. So we're just like, I'm plugging shamelessly saying, look what a better comic I am, just to overcompensate how much I've been called not a real comic. I have to say, I was 2 years in and I did a European tour. I'm a fucking prodigal person, which now you kind of realize why comics hate me. But that, I'm just really saying that. We
Okay.
did a lot of things. We saw the Vatican.
And now we're gonna do the show.
Also, no, don't. Also, I did get into the Vatican. I cut the 6-hour line because I had my disability from the United States. So I said, I wondered if those credits transferred over. So I got in the fucking disabled people, retarded. I was going to say disabled people, but we've already made fun of Jews, Christians, whites, blacks. So I was like, all right, the retarded people. I got in the retarded people line at the Vatican because of my disabilities.
Who's the piece of shit in this story? Is it RanDom for using his retarded abilities to get himself in line like he's at Disney to go into the Vatican? Is it the Vatican for having a retarded line? Is it Catholic people for giving them all this power for them to do this stuff? Or is it Frank for no apparent reason? Bobby, you go first.
Here's the thought I had the other day with my brother. If you were a priest, like if you had a kid who was retarded, right, and he really wanted to be a priest, at what point would the Catholic Church stop him? Because I feel like the whole thing's like anything's true through the power of God. So like, could he get his whole way to the top? Like,
Sorry about that. My speaker was cutting out. Can you guys hear me now?
yeah, you're
Yeah,
good. Father Doug insists on us finger panning during the homily. I don't know if this is what.
I mean, there was a lot of pedophilia jokes to be had. And surprisingly, my girl, comic Lizzie DeRazzo, she made like 50 of them, whereas I only had like 3.
To answer your question, Pat, it's the Catholic Church. Why do you have a special line? Everybody's equal in the eyes of God.
Yeah. even the
Everybody is
retards.
capable of waiting. Yeah.
And
Frank-
by the way, if Jesus really has powers, there should be no retards. He should just walk by and do his magic, and then they're fine. They're regular style.
Frank,
He was
what was the
supposed to cure
Reformation like?
What? I didn't hear you.
I asked Frank what the Reformation was like. It was an old joke.
Oh, I didn't have
He's
a-
old. Yeah, yeah.
Frank,
For an
who's the
old
piece
guy.
of shit in that story? Frank.
I would have to say,
Those ones over.
looking back at the last 40 minutes, I would have to say it's me because I didn't contribute. I mean, I just was
How
in
could you?
awe and I listened. So I'm going to say that I was a piece of shit.
I'm
I
gonna
know. I
regret
was
this.
trying to. This whole podcast, I was just trying to fit in with you guys. I didn't even want all this crazy jokes about race or Jews or any of that. I was just forced into it by peer pressure.
Yep, and now I'm gonna force you to fucking choose the piece of shit in the story about you.
Oh,
Who's the
all right.
piece of shit in the story about getting in the line of the Vatican?
The Vatican for having 8-hour lines.
Yes.
And the Pope, because you know what? The Pope could have kept it underground and kept everything cool where it was just real hardcore Christians, but he had to sell out and become mainstream. Talk about gays are welcome in their church and trans acceptance. So now there's crowds and crowds of people because he fucking sold out, went mainstream. So me, who's been a real Christian my whole life, had to wait 8 hours in line for some wannabe that only likes one hit song that the Pope made like 5 years ago. There is no hell. Oh, okay. Now he's got hundreds of thousands of people in line that aren't really about the message. They're just about the hits that they heard on the radio.
Yeah, the Pope is just like
After
Right
he
Said
cut his
Fred.
hair.
That's exactly what it is. But no, the real piece of shit is the Jews because they've never had a good army. The Catholic Church is always
Yeah,
been
they
strong.
have.
Jews,
The
Yeah, they tore down the walls of Jericho.
No, the Jews have had a great
Oh, so-
army. The American army
Did
that
I do
fights
a
for them.
joke on a goddamn podcast? It's not real. The Jews aren't real. No one's real.
No,
I was gonna do a whole joke about my part where I was gonna say the Jews couldn't fight them in a game of basketball because they lost basketball to the black people. I was gonna go into a whole thing, but I can't even do my part of the piece of shit. You do fun fact guys pulling out your snap. The Jews had a good team in 1835. I'm not
No.
doing real
Took the
stats,
walls
everybody.
down to Jericho.
I mean, I had a good one. I said the Jews do have a great army. It's the United
Could I
States
get
Army.
my thing out? I let you get your thing out. You had your whole thing about the one-hit wonder that I waited and said, Right Said Fred. I let you do your song. I could have jumped in early. No, I
Sorry.
let the flow happen. I see
Sorry.
why New York comics hate you.
Yeah, I said that was going to happen inevitably.
You're killing it,
I'm
Brandon.
joking. It's all love, my friend.
All right,
We've
first
got
story,
time
Pat.
for one story before.
Gino said he may be a little late anyway, so let's.
I got no, because we're not going super long because I got shit to do too in between. So we're gonna do it like with the one, possibly two stories ago. So drug dealer tosses weed off Brooklyn rooftop, causes free for all in street below.
Are we guessing what race it is? Is that
You
the
could
game?
when we get done to that. You can. I don't know.
I
I
was
read the
just- I
story
was just
first.
fucking around.
No, we can do that. That's fine. A drug dealer tossed an entire bag of weed off a Brooklyn rooftop during a deal gone wrong. Wait, I'm sorry. Oh, is it a free for all on the streets below? Yeah, I do energy now. Bobby, does that work better in the story? Cause a free for all as passerby scrambled to load upon the free pot. Authority said. 29-year-old male arranged to meet with several people on the rooftop of Sunset Park, building around 11:15 p.m. Dun dun dun. June 1st. Sell the marijuana, police said Tuesday. When he arrived, the crew allegedly displayed a gun and jumped him as they attempted to snatch the bag filled with weed, cops said. The man hurled the dope off the roof, and pedestrians below scrambled to grab it off the street before fleeing, according to police. God damn you, New York Post, forgive me for plugging.
Isn't weed legal in New York now, or like some decriminalized?
Bobby, you're better at answering that question than me.
Yeah, it's legal in New York now up to a certain amount. So if you're a dealer, you probably have enough on you to get in trouble.
Oh,
The group that was on the rooftop on 8th Street near 46th Street fled in a black BMW sedan taking off from 46th Street. The victim suffered cuts on his face and bruises on his body and was taken to an area hospital, at EMS cops said. Who's the piece of shit in the story? Is it the dealer for throwing his weed off there and saying, fuck this? Why wouldn't they see you? What do you do? What is that move? When I was in college, I knew we had our resident directors coming into the room, and my buddy flushed it down the toilet and they heard it. It's like, they're going to catch us with the weed anyway. You might as well keep the weed, and maybe we'd be nice to them and smoke with them rather than flush that shit down the toilet. Throwing it off the thing's not doing anything better for you. They saw you throw it. It's down there now. You had weed. What are you doing? Is it the cops for coming in all gangbuster style at a time when so much more shit is happening? Dude with weed on a roof, What are we doing? Coming out with guns, going nuts. Yeah, he's probably a bad dude in other ways too, and weed's just a small part of it. But there's easier ways to handle it in stopping it. You stop the guy from jumping off the roof. Why don't you talk him down from throwing his weed off the roof? If they all smoked weed together, they would have had a good time and walked off the roof together. These are the savages down at the below, not realize they can buy weed anywhere nowadays. You don't really need to fucking sit there like it's a parade. Like when fat people, little kids, like Girl Scouts in a parade throw Tootsie Rolls, and then fat fuckers run you over to get the Tootsie. That's what they're acting like. You can buy candy anywhere. It's cheap. You get your weed and you want. Who's the piece of shit in the story? RanDom, go first.
I would have to say the police officers, because like you're right, the point you made, I don't have anything that funny to say, so I'm just going to go all technical. But I've had cops steal weed from me, and then they say, like, they take the weed and talk about, well, you know, this is prison time and everything. They put it in their pocket, they take the bowl, and then they say, you know, we're not going to report this, you guys. And I'm like, oh, like that. But then also, oh, what was I going to say? Something about the cop, like you said, fuck, I had a good joke going. Damn it, someone else.
If it comes back, let us know. We'll get you back. Frank, who's the piece of shit?
I'm tossed in between the dealer that had the drugs that threw it off the rooftop and the guys that came to rob him. I'm going to go with the guy who threw the drugs off the rooftop, because you never give up your drugs. If you're a dealer, you are a dealer. You do not throw them off the rooftop. There's other alternatives. Talk to the guy that has the gun. Work a deal out with him. You don't, because what was going to happen next? You throw the drugs out, he has no option. If he's a fucking real thief, he will shoot you.
So you off the roof.
For doing that. So I have to say it's the guy that threw the drugs off the roof, because there's not a good outcome.
I think it's both of their faults. They should have played up some gay love story that they were going to kill themselves because the world didn't accept them for them. And then the police would have been more apt to deal with the potential suicide than a little weed on them.
Yeah. You had to be right nice to the gays this month. So
Yeah.
perfect. Bobby.
So wait, somebody was robbing him at the same time?
When they did this, when the guy set up a thing with other people to sell them drugs, but it was a setup. People found out. So these guys came out and went to rob this guy. He was going to deal people. Then the cops came to that when there was a hullabaloo on top of the roof.
So who was the person doing the setting up? It was the robbers?
No, well, the guy put it out there. Some people, I think the way it alleges is that some people who said, yeah, I'll be there to buy the drugs, probably told to somebody, hey, this dude's got drugs. Let's go rob him.
And then the cops just showed up as well.
Well, when the guns and the hullabaloo and the yelling happened. The cops
Okay. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure I could clarify. It's the people who
Rebecca's right. I don't tell a good story.
It's the people who set up the drug dealer. Like, if you're gonna set somebody up, set up a heroin dealer. You know what I mean? Like a bad guy.
Or the drugs. It's not just the dude on the roof.
The drugs you don't do. That's pretty selfish of you, Bobby.
Something that kills people, man. I'm just saying, like you've met weed dealers.
Kills people
right?
with fun.
You've met weed dealers, RanDom. It's 9 times out of 10. It's like a college kid who's trying to make a couple extra bucks to take his girl out for drinks to get laid on the weekend. This isn't Pablo Escobar. You know what I mean? Like, or set up a bigger buy where you're taking pounds from somebody.
Yeah,
don't get somebody for a couple of ounces that, you know what I mean? Like, now he's got to go deal with the guy who deals pounds who's not going to be happy, and it's a whole situation. Don't rob people.
Bobby had a new idea for a shirt. It's your face on the front, and the back it just says, "This isn't Pablo Escobar."
That's a good one. That is a good one.
It makes no sense, but it makes all the sense. It's like just a quote, but it's also real.
Also, if the cops come, try to bribe them. And one way I love to bribe police officers is with a nice bottle of Silk City hot sauce.
Yes. If I was up there, here's the thing. I was making a joke before saying I would never throw weed off the roof. Never do that at all. But if I was dealing hot sauce, I was up there dealing Aztec Attack, and people set me up, and they're like, we're going to kill you, or we're going to take your sauce. I go, you better fucking shoot me. Because
I'll take a bullet for some badass Jew.
What I would do, if I had the sauce, I would then start a getaway to make sure that the sauce got delivered.
Yeah. You got to make sure.
It's
You got to
that
make
good.
sure that
It's life-changing. People talk about DMT like life-changing. Once you have that sauce, the universe opens, God talks to you. It's everything.
he's not rude either. He's like, hey, bud. He's not like a dickhead about like in all those stories. Like, go get a goat and kill it. Like God usually says. He's like, no, get a goat, smoke it. We'll put some mango madness on it and we'll eat it together. That's what he does. God talks to you in the right way.
Now there's a rumor, and I could be mistaken. You know what I mean? It's just a rumor, almost like a myth, that if you mix all the flavors together, except for mango madness, in the right proportions, you gotta get them exactly right, and you taste it. It will take you on a DMT-esque level trip. And the God who talks to you he just has the conversation you always wanted to have with your dad, where he tells you he's proud of you, everything's gonna be okay.
But what happens if you mix the mango madness into it?
He fucks you in the butt
I thought he just
Steals your
tweeted
credit
about how
card.
you're not as attractive as he thinks you should be.
and steals your credit card.
Steals your credit card.
If you're stealing credit cards, selling mango, tripping, and being psychotic, you might be a random. I can't stop thinking about that.
I hope one day it becomes. If this can be the new blue collar, we all take a Frank's Larry the Cable Guy. We'll take one on. You be Jeff Foxworthy. We'll all take names. I'm in. I will do that tour whenever. Or you just go out there and do that.
Frank's the Vic Henley of our group.
That'd be amazing.
It was because Vic Henley's dead, Frank.
Yes. Frank figured. Every time I make a joke, Frank's like, yeah, that guy must be dead, whatever it is.
All right.
Frank, do your story so that way we can get the fuck out.
All right. Okay, we'll quickly do one. I'm going to go back 56 years ago.
Let me quickly do this for random.
Okay.
Frank is not just an old man we yell at. Frank has been doing pranks and scams for like most of his life with this awesome guy named Alan Abel who passed away. There's a documentary about him. They did these things before these morons now who do them and then reveal everything. They would go out and do it. If you were promoting your documentary, you would let them know. They go out to Iowa, they do this crazy scam to get attention, and then it somehow slip in the name of your documentary. The world would hear about that, but never know they were getting pranked. Frank went around doing this. He's tricked the FBI. He's tricked famous people. He's been dressed up like a sheik. He's done all these amazing things. And every week now, he kind of reveals the things that he has done with us on the show. We find who the piece of shit the story is. So that being said, go ahead, Frank.
Wow, that was a great intro. I mean, I really
Getting
feel
good.
like I'm going to.
I almost don't need you now.
I'm really going to feel like I'm going to let you down tonight. So I'm going back. I was working as a salesman in Manhattan in 1965. And Merv Griffin started a new syndicated show late night that went on at 11 o'clock at night. It was live in New York City and syndicated all over the United States. So I got tickets for the first week that he was on, and I show up. I should say that I did not go to work that day. I was so psyched about going to the Merv Griffin show. I said, I'm not going to work. I'm going to relax, take it easy. I'm going to be all jacked up for the 11 o'clock show. So I go down there. And he had the cast members of a play called Love, L-U-V. It was a Mike Nichols play that was celebrating its 1-year anniversary, and he had the stars on to celebrate the anniversary. And one of the actors was an actor named Gabriel Dell. He was one of the original Dead End Kids, the East Side Gang, the Bowery Boys. And he was the lead in the play. And so he starts talking about he's Italian from Brooklyn. And he said, do I have any paisans out there? And I yell, Sausage, Gabriel, it's Frankie. And all of a sudden he comes running into the audience, and he picks me out and he tells me to get up, and we start talking about Brooklyn and what we ate as kids. Then Merv Griffin comes out. He says, you're ruining the show. Come on stage and help us celebrate the anniversary. So I go on stage, I sit down, I have a piece of birthday cake celebrating 1-year anniversary, and it was a great time. Went home, next day I go to work, the regional sales manager calls me into his office. And he goes like this, what were you doing last night? I said, well, I was recuperating from my bad back. And he goes, why were you on the Merv Griffin show last night? And so I had to give it up that I went to the show. I felt good and I was having a good time. He said I embarrassed him. I embarrassed the company. And so I got into a lot of trouble for being myself for the first time on national television. Who's the piece of shit? Is it Gabriel Dell for dragging me out of my audience seat onto the stage? Is it Merv Griffin for having this shitty show that I got tickets to go to? Or is it the regional manager that made a big deal out of nothing?
Could I ask initially, do you have podcasts or something where I could listen to more of these stories?
There's a whole
Pat.
documentary, Frank.
What's it called?
Right.
Yeah, that's right. It's called Abel Raises Cain. You could catch
What
it
the
probably
fuck are we
any place.
doing? Time out. Yes,
What?
Random. There is a podcast where you could hear more of these stories. It's the POS show. It's the one you're on right now. Shut the fuck up, both of you guys. That's where people can hear these.
I was gonna say that too, but I was letting Frank plug his cap.
Hey,
He does this
Random-
every week. Like seriously, for every show we've done, he does a story.
I
So
know, now
every
I feel
week-
bad. I
This
just
is,
bitched
hang on, this is what just happened. Random just threw, it was a softball game. He just threw you the nicest
No,
pitch
he didn't care
right
about our show.
over the
That proves
plate.
never
He
heard
was
our show
robbing the
before.
plug, and Frank picked up the bat, turned on his own team, and beat all of them to death.
Yeah.
No, because we realized that Random has never seen our show right there, so there was no point in saying
That's
that.
just-
So we're like, all right,
I
yeah.
have seen the show.
How? If you didn't know, Frank just goes on and on for an hour.
I tell a goddamn long story for 9 months. I've been telling a story every week.
No,
Do you
but
still
it
have-
was also the documentary. Yeah,
He's like,
Frank
I saw the
Stallone.
good one where Dan Brown announced things.
Do you still have those industry connections? We could all plan some wacky heist that would destroy our lives but be funny.
Yeah, you know, Random,
Bobby's
I
been
don't
trying to
feel
get Frank to do that. Frank's too old.
Come on,
it's-
let's try to get
Well-
on the Johnny Carson show.
Well, we
I've
can't
been on
set up
the
a prank
Carson
and
show.
announce it.
I mean, it's
Opening scene of the movie is this. It's me convincing Pat and Random to do this. They're on board. We go to Frank. He says no. I say something about it like, I thought you still had your heart in the game.
Yeah,
Gives me a
you
look.
have to
He
go.
leaves his bar.
I'll tell you a
Later,
story.
I get a phone call from a block number that says, meet at this place at this time. It's Frank's garage. He's got the prank planned way out ahead of time. He was
Yeah.
just looking for the right crew.
Yeah,
And then
it's
I
Frank.
get out because I'm not dealing with it because you guys announced it on a podcast earlier and everyone knows we're doing it.
Pat goes into a bar. It's a dimly lit closed bar saying, Frank, I got a job for you. And he's smoking a cigar. I'm out of the game, kid. I don't do that anymore. It's the heist to end all heists. This is the last one we have to do. We're getting older. We have to make this one work. And he's like, you son of a bitch, I'm in.
Yeah.
Pat
And they were
rats
like,
on
we
us.
need someone to dig a hole. And then Random comes in with a chain. And on it is the strongest tranny black border you've ever seen. He's like, everything everyone hates and loves is on this chain. And it can dig a hole.
And
Pat
Random,
rats on us.
Random,
Yes,
you were
I do.
very close to how certain of these things happen.
I know,
remember-
because it's a hack cliche heist movie.
yeah.
Pat,
not
Pat
breaking
rats
you
on
down.
us. Random comes in covered in blood with a box. We go, what's in the box, Random? We go, rats have to pay. We go, no, that was part of the plan.
By the way, if we
You're
were
in
real
my
quick, Bobby,
heist.
real quick, if we were setting up this heist, we would need money. And the only way to save money is if people went back to the part where we did the ad and then we said, you need to use the promo code POS to save 15% off your sauce because we forgot to do that part. So go to
That's right.
SoakCityHotSauce.com, use the promo code POS, save 15%, and use that 15% to get yourself a getaway car for the heist. There we go. We're back.
I think Frank would be
Listen.
the one to betray us, though. Frank would be the double cross that happens towards the end of heist, who said, you were actually part of my heist all along. And then he shovels away with the money and we're left with the feds coming in on us.
No, it's Frankception. Oh, no. Or it's Frank inside of Frank inside of Frank. Okay.
Yes.
If you're planning a podcast with your friend or a heist with your friends where one's going to die, one's going to rat on you, and two are going to form a lifelong friendship because they can never really emotionally connect with anybody else.
Oh, I'm telling
Start-
on you guys right away.
I was about to say, I was
Start
gonna
by
be the
ordering
one that-
Silk City Hot Sauce from silkcityhotsauce.com. Use promo code POS as in pranks, always and sexually.
I thought it was gonna be Pat Oates snitches because that's what I'm doing. Right, that thing. POS stands for Pat Oates snitches on all of you. You're
That
going to
was
jail.
good.
I made a deal. Random. Thank
Wait,
you.
can I
so
do
much.
one story? I
go
really
ahead.
want to do one
We
story.
can't. Hold on. We didn't say who's the piece of shit Frank story.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I not say?
We neither did I. We really got off.
I
Who's
would
piece of
say
shit?
Frank for not still doing these crazy heists and involving new up and comers to be a part of his crazy secret cult of pranks heists.
I'm happy he does it because we couldn't get him on here. Bobby.
It's random for thinking Frank wants to hear. So here's what I'm thinking. We sneak into the Vatican and I'm in blackface. Then I suck the Pope's dick and we get it on camera while I'm singing a song.
And it was like, here's my idea. Like a Disney park thing, but called Wowschwitz. Where it's super fun and it's a camp and there's rides. It's great.
No, Frank, I think the piece of shit in your story is the regional manager.
I agree. Totally agree.
What you do in your off hours is none of their business. Maybe you have a podcast where you just bitch about working for them. That's none of their business. I mean, they should fuck off.
I'm so crazy. I thought Frank's story was the imaginary heist we just planted. I was like, who's the piece of shit?
Awesome. That's a better story. The piece of shit is Merv Griffin. Merv Griffin and all these other people keep doing this to Frank. Can't people get together and learn that you don't challenge Frank and bring him on stage? Every one of Frank's stories ends in a Frank ruining something and someone going, "Oh, you think you're good at it? Get up here." Like every asshole heckler who's like, is waiting for you for the comment to go, "Come on up here if you think you're better." And Frank's always acting like, "I'll go up there," and then he goes up. Why would Merv Griffin say, "Come up"? You yelled sausage at an Italian guy.
Yeah.
Fuck you. And then they said, "Fine." They brought you up. You got cake. It's like Saturday Night Live. Hey, we don't have a host this week. Hopefully Frank will be here. Everybody just fucking yells. You're the Forrest Gump, but more retarded of all stories. They just bring you up and just throw you in. You're like, "Here I am now." It's Merv Griffin. You should have just pointed to security and had you throw the fuck out like everyone else should.
He's a go-getter. I like that. Frank's
When I
like,
was
"I'm
on
gonna
Richard
sit in the
Bay,
audience
that's a show
and
no one remembers, but Richard Bay had a show like that years later in New Jersey. And me and my friends went up there to go on the show. We got all fucked up. We were yelling crazy shit at midgets and white trash. And at one point, I yelled out something. Everyone laughed. And all of a sudden, the red light went off. And the guy goes, "Yeah, it's funny, but shut the fuck up. Maybe sit down or we'll arrest you." And that's what they did. They continued their show. I said, "All right." And they go, "We'll put you on camera at least." So when you watch the show 3 times, they just pants in my face, me being an asshole dancing around. But they yelled at me basically to say, "If you don't stop, we will throw you in jail. Stop ruining our show."
Yeah.
Should have done that to you, Frank. You're a fucking criminal. Bobby, one last story for you. Go ahead.
Okay. So it recently came out that DC wrote a storyline where Batman was supposed to go down on Catwoman. And then they axed it for obvious reasons. And the story resurfaced because a reporter asked them about it. And DC said, quote, "That's not what heroes do."
Yeah, that's what they do.
No, hang on. This is important. When you hear the word hero, Frank, I know you think of a sandwich, but most people think of like soldiers, doctors, even people like religious martyrs. But I want everybody to look at this because this is the face of a hero. Because I don't do that either.
You don't?
Who's the piece of shit in the story? Is it Batman for not doing that? Is it no? Is it the author of the comic for initially wanting
Batman for not doing it?
He's a fictional fucking cartoon.
He's a fucking cartoon. Bobby, it's you no matter what, and not because you said you don't eat pussy. It's you thinking that Batman is a real stance.
It's Batman's fault for not awakening conscience in some meta reality and fighting against his creator and popping out and becoming real.
Popping out of the page, grabbing the creator's wife's legs, and just chowing her box going, "I do this."
I'm just saying. Other dicks have been in there. So if I do that, it kind of makes me gay. And if I'm gay, I can't be the hero Gotham needs.
You know what? When you're hanging out with a boy in pantyhose, maybe you should eat some box in front of people once in a while.
It smells like Robin.
The cat
Robin is you. That's why his name's Robin.
It was smelled like fish down there. I couldn't. The cats and fish.
Robin's last name, Innocence. That's what Batman was doing to him. Robin Innocence. That was
I'm just saying. My name's Batman, not goddamn Robin Hood. I'm not digging through.
Who's the piece of shit in this story? Is it DC?
Pat, let me have a little fun. I'm doing Batman not eating voices, man.
Yeah, but you did this on Compound, I'm sure.
No, I didn't.
On Twitter.
This is just for you.
And this could be potential stage material, so he needs
Yeah,
to work
it's
this out.
Then go
Definitely.
find the stage, because I'm mad that Bobby got close to the camera and said, "I don't eat pussy." You don't
welcome.
eat pussy?
I tweeted. It turns out I'm Batman, and
I saw.
Barb's friends of the show. Barb's tweeted, "Is it because you won't eat Catwoman's pussy?" And I just said, "Not just Catwoman's." So, is it the author who initially wanted Batman to eat Catwoman out? Is it the person who stepped in and was like, "No, we shouldn't have that happen"? Or is it the reporter who asked the obvious question, "Why did you take that out of the comic book?" Or is it the DC executive for giving the greatest excuse of all time, and something you will hear me use in the bedroom multiple times throughout my life? That's not what heroes do. Frank, we're going to you first.
I'm old school, so I missed half of the.
I'm
stuff
old
that
school,
was
so
said.
sex is only for babies.
No,
I'm around before
I'm going to
pedophilia.
stick up for you. I give a shout out to any man that could look a camera dead in the eye and said he doesn't eat pussy. I
don't
him
eat pussy
shout-outs.
unless they're asleep.
Oh, he never said that.
I like my meal resting.
Rand, he never said that. I'm going to have to say that it has to be him from the old school of me, that he doesn't eat pussy.
So you
But-
respect Cosby for eating pussy?
Did he eat it? Yeah, he did.
He had it with a
Oh, yeah.
cocktail, so, but I'm going to have to say that I'm giving him props for that. But then the new school Frank is saying that, Bobby, you're a piece of shit for saying that into the camera. I mean, let's be honest. You just eliminated 62% of your potential sex partners by saying that. But
Yeah,
maybe
but
you're
then he doesn't
happy
have to
with
eat
that.
pussy.
Maybe you're happy with that.
The ladies think I protest too much. That's all I'm saying, Frank.
Random, who's the piece of shit?
Wait, I got to add one more option. Is it Frank for having multiple personalities? Old
Yeah,
Frank and new Frank.
that was actually gonna be my piece of. Thank you for spoiling. I gotta do it
Yeah,
now.
Frank's
That
the
was
one
gonna be
with
a piece
multiple
of shit.
personalities. Fuck you, Frank.
Yeah.
You're crazy and have multiple personalities.
That's why I tried to stop you, Bobby. I was gonna
I'm
say
sorry, Pat.
new age Frank is a piece of shit. I'll be a new one. Fuck you,
Let
Frank.
me tell
and your-
you and Random why you're both wrong. Because Frank did that just to get me off the hook. So thanks, Frank. I owe you one, buddy.
No, I said you were awesome. I
Anytime,
said
pal.
We're not wrong, Random. We're fine. Bobby's wrong. Go ahead, Random. What's up?
no, I was gonna say I thought Bobby was right because he eliminated the audience, but he doesn't have to eat pussy after that. But I think, and this isn't gonna be funny, but I really think it's the person who made that story. Because when you think hero, the reason they're superheroes is because they don't have like these human attributes. Like you never see Batman eating or going to the bathroom or taking a shower. So it's like to be a hero is to like almost be like unisex. Like, so why put that in there?
Because it stinks.
Right. But if you're gonna go that route, Batman doesn't have superpowers. He's just like a detective who wears a costume.
And
No,
doesn't eat
Superman
pussy.
can't, because Superman would bite through their fucking hip and destroy them. Like he's too strong. Like, if he fucked you, he'd kill you. He's too powerful. But Batman's just a detective in a suit. He can eat pussy.
But also, he's supposed to be saving the entire fucking Gotham City. He shouldn't have time to eat
What
pussy.
city?
It's 6
One
inches from your
pussy.
asshole.
It's too much.
He's also Bruce Wayne, fucking debonair entrepreneur on boats with hoes all day. You gotta eat some. You're Batman. You're Bruce goddamn Wayne. You're out there. You gotta eat some box. You gotta get
you
on
should be getting
TMZ.
your dick sucked. You don't get $1 billion to eat pussy. You get your dick sucked.
Wait, are you at some weird sex house where you only get one thing to do? You can do both. What are you talking about? You just eat pussy and leave? My job here is done.
Last time we tried, I saw some toilet paper left over.
You have fun with everyone. You suck your dick, you eat the pussy, you do all the things, you have fun. I can't believe a guy like Bobby sitting here having this girl who obviously has got her box eaten by several people at one party at the same time behind him, dancing around. She's in a hall. She's not even in a room. She's in a hallway of an apartment. You can see that. There's a staircase. She's just out there, out and about like that. That is, people are watching this thing, looking past Bobby and thinking about eating out that lady's terrible snatch right now. And he got
Am I
in
gay?
front of her. He
Only
blocked
gay
it with
guys
his
eat
face and
box.
said, "No pussy." Yeah, I know the piece of shit is. The piece of shit is DC for the first place putting this out there. There was never a story. It was never even said. They just want, everyone hates DC. The movies stink. They're always mad at them.
I love DC.
No, I like it as a comic book, but as movies go, the people that aren't huge fans do that. And so therefore they're like, how can we get people to pay attention to us? And they're like, I don't know, let's have a crazy story. I don't know. And they're like, oh, we had this one thing, it failed. And I'm sure as a joke, someone goes, yeah, we had an extravagance. It was going down on Catwoman. It sounds like something silly you would say. Someone took that, threw it out there, and they said, let's put it out there. Let's go with it. And finally, we're like, shit, people think it's really happened. How do we answer it? Let's answer it like a hero would and say, that's not what heroes do.
But
and
then
that
they
made me
right, it was
respect
never a
DC
story.
even more. But it's the DC people for putting it out there and fucking finagling everyone.
But
I'm
then
just
they
saying.
should have just went all out and had Batman like get peed on or something, and that's what he used the cape for. It was already dirty from fighting crime all night, so before he throws it in the washer, he might as well just get a little yellow on him.
But random, think about the world you're living in. If a white man went down on a white Catwoman, all of a sudden, was it consensual? Was it? Did she want that to happen?
Well,
Oh my
if
God.
you get
So
peed on
it
by
would
a
have
chick,
to
then
end up
it's
being a
definitely
tranny.
consensual.
It would have to be a tranny. He'd go down, it'd be a cock, and he'd be fine with it. And now he's butt man and he gets fucked in the ass all the time. It has to change everything. They couldn't do it. He'd have to be black. And then he could say, well, we don't do that. We don't go down on bitches. And then that would have been fine too. But you can't have a white guy just go down on a white woman. They
Or
knew they were doubles. They had to change.
Or he says Batman doesn't go down on them, but Bruce Wayne does.
Batman goes down on Bruce Wayne, like Frank between two people in his story. And then he's like, Batman wouldn't do that, but Bruce Wayne would do it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you don't see them pulling this horse shit on Black Panther.
Stop doing your voice.
No, keep doing your voice.
It
What?
sounds like he's just trying to be me.
What stereotypes don't exist in comic books?
Well, it sounds like he's
Why
doing
the hell does
Christian
Black
Bale
Panther
there.
have to eat this?
He's not going all Ben Affleck or Michael Keaton or the guy in the 60s.
I'm just
Yes.
saying, I'll do it when I see Cyborg do it.
Oh, Cyborg can't.
Cyborg's a walking dildo.
Yeah, he's got
You convinced-
vibrator hands.
Yeah.
That'd be way. Yeah, you think in Batman's utility belt he'd have some fun little shit to make that girl wet? You wouldn't need to eat her out. He's got a million things on that belt.
No, you know
a little
what?
rabbit.
Batman doesn't eat pussy because it's seen as like fun or joyful, and his life has
Oh.
no fun or joy. in it.
Yeah,
There you
because
go.
his dad never ate his mom out, and that's why they had to go to the theater. That's why they got
I'm
shot.
just-
He's like, we can just stay home and you can eat my fucking box. He's like, you know what? Let's just go to the theater. That's what we'll do instead.
No, because that would encourage him to eat box more. It's they ate box and then went to the theater. So Batman thinks he's not thinking if they never went to the theater, he would have gotten shot. If the mom never waited to get her box eaten out in the car, they would have never been in the alley at that time. So that's where it comes from.
Or he can't eat box because the last time they were together, they sat in the skybox where they watched it. And whenever he hears about box, it makes him think of his mom and he can't do it.
I'm just saying, I'll do it when I see Green Lantern do it. No, not the Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds does it.
Not the Ryan Reynolds one. You know which goddamn Green Lantern I'm referring to.
The other one's black, so
The
no.
one, the one who doesn't swim.
The one who can't swim.
Once I see Jason Momoa to do it, whatever the fuck his name is.
All right. Hear me out. What if she goes down on me instead?
What if she just sucks the back cock?
And then you go down on her? No, what if we just cut the scene there?
Ever slide down the bat pole?
Gets a
If
little
you know what I
wiggle.
mean. All right, Random. Thank you so much for being on. Now you tell people where they can follow you, where they can see a documentary, all that stuff.
Thank you guys so much for having me. This really
course.
brightened up my spirit of just laughing and fucking around because it's been a little serious on the last few podcasts I did. So I love you guys. MarkRandom.com for my documentary, Who Killed Comedy. My YouTube channel, just Google Mark Random, one word, and you can find my stand-up. You can find other podcasts I've done and comedy content and things like that. Also, I have I don't know what else I have. I did a Gas Digital show, The Thing Is, with Shannon, and it was great. I told like philosophies of my dodecagram and my crazy past, ghost stories, sex stories, fight stories. MarkRandom.com. Just Google that. Mark Random X on Twitter, Instagram, and other things. I love you guys. Thank you so much for having me. This felt really good, and it made my whole week or month better.
You made us happy. We're glad you could be on, man. Frank, tell them what you're doing.
I have to admit, Pat, the show that we did at Comics and Mohegan Sun on June 17th was a blast. It was great.
I heard it
I
was
just want
great 'cause I
everybody
wasn't
to
there.
know that. It was unbelievable. I'll be back at Comics
I
and Mohegan.
wasn't there. That's what he's doing. He's trying to say. 'Cause I
No.
wasn't there.
This is yesterday, tomorrow.
Oh, the next
You-
one. They're saying the one I didn't go to.
Am
No,
I filling
that's-
in?
No,
We
You
got
were
Marty
great on
Caproni
that.
to fill in.
you would have great on the one that's tomorrow.
Oh,
But
okay.
I'll be back on July 1st, and Pat will be back with me at Comics on the 15th of July.
Yes, I will not be there the first.
You won't
but,
be there the first now.
Bobby.
What if we bring in the stunt double? Thanks, Brandon, for laughing on all these. You
Please,
give me way
please.
too much confidence.
No,
check me
please,
out
What
at
if Nightwing eats the puss?
please at least try that at least once on stage.
Thank you. I will.
Or you have Joker come up and go, "Why do you think I have these scars?"
Oh,
From eating a dry 50-year-old bitch out.
Yeah, for eating a crazy bitch who paints her face and jumping acid. Yeah, her pussy's nuts. Go ahead, Bobby.
check me out on the Eastside Dave Show every Tuesday with Roy Harder at 7:30 on Compound Media. It's been a lot of fun lately. We're doing a lot of new things. Follow me at Bobby_Tamburo across social media, and check out our How Could You Forget series on Compound. Get caught up and be ready.
Get over on the Patreon, Pato's Patreon. Bobby and I have an exclusive show called Retro. The next one we're going to put out is we record later on today. We're going to have Gino Visconti on. We're going to be talking about 1984. It's going to be a lot of fucking fun. So make sure you get on there. It's only on the Patreon. This show and our other show, Retail, come out right away on the Patreon, and you have to wait a couple of days to get them on the YouTube. So you might as well jump on there for as low as $3 a month. We put out so much content. Go check it out. But if you're poor and cheap, we don't give a fuck. Go over to YouTube, subscribe there, and you see the shows when they come out. Either way, support us. We appreciate that. Bobby and I will be in Hartford July 3rd, along with Dave Hintz, to perform at City Steam Brewery. Make sure you get your tickets to that at comedycraftbeer.com. And then July 31st, Bobby and I will be in West Hartford, along with Frank will be on the show, and our friend Dan Brown. I'll perform with her at the Elbow Room. You can get tickets. Go on anywhere on my social media, and you can find I have a Eventbrite thing on there to get tickets to that. RanDom, sorry again. Thank you so much for being on the show. Really appreciate it. You're the best. We can't wait to have you back on. And Bobby,
Remember, heroes don't eat pussy.
I
Don't
love
be
you guys.
a
Thank you so much
piece-
for having me. I love you
Don't
guys.
be a piece of shit.